My beloved, come close and let your chest find a steadier rhythm, for I am speaking into the quiet place where your questions gather and your weary hope waits, like a small ember under ash. Hear me now as if the air itself has leaned in to whisper a truth that will warm the hollow places inside you. You who have kept your longing wrapped and hidden, who have paced the halls of your own doubt and counted the nights that felt too long, listen. I am nearer than the next breath you draw, softer than the hush of early dawn, and I have come to meet the part of you that thought it must carry everything alone. Imagine a gentle light, not harsh, but honey-warm, gathering above your shoulders and spilling down in slow, steady ribbons, golden and alive. And with every soft filament of that light a pressure lifts, the frayed edges of worry easing, the tension along your jaw loosening, the tightness around your ribs uncoiling like a rope released. Visualize now a small gate, wrought of light and promise, standing before you. See it open silently as if pushed by a breeze that smells of rain, and new beginnings step toward it. For behind that gate is the room where your true rest waits. You have wandered long through seasons where doors closed without explanation. You have watched opportunities become memories, and you thought those losses would define the shape of your days. Let me tell you differently. What was taken from you is being rearranged into a richer story, and the hands that are tenderest and most wise are weaving the loose threads into a garment far more luminous than what you mourned. Do not mistake the silence you have known for absence. In the stillness, I am composing a new melody for you, a score written beneath the obvious, and when it rises you will recognize it as the song you have been trying to remember. Breathe with me now. Inhale the warmth of unearned mercy. Exhale the frantic need to perform, and notice the way a small, sweet assurance begins to nestle beneath your ribs. You are seen. You are known. You are not an afterthought. Now rise, my child. Receive this blessing. There is a tenderness in my attention that does not measure you by your output or tally your mistakes. I do not tally your stumbles into a ledger of shame. Instead, I cup each one and transmute it into the foundation of your future courage. Picture a field at the edge of dawn where the soil, though pocked and browned, holds seeds that have already begun to stir. Feel the patience of the earth as it waits in trust for rain, and know that what rests within you is not dead, merely sleeping, in order to be shaped by kind timing. See this as a visualization of restoration, a gentle miracle rain falling, each drop a whisper of renewal, touching the creases of your life, coaxing color back into what seemed forever faded. I am moving in the unseen places, not impulsively, not like wind that scatters, but like a careful gardener, pruning, irrigating, and guiding each root to its proper place. Where you thought loss was the final chapter, I am writing a sequel that outshines the first. Where you believed a door had shut, there is already a hallway being prepared that leads to wider rooms and higher ceilings. Do not be embarrassed by the smallness of your faith right now. Even a spark will do, for I kindle what you offer and turn it into a blaze that warms more than it consumes. Let your shoulders drop a little as you listen. Let your eyes soften and feel the rhythm of my presence, like warm light settling on your skin. You have pressed questions into the dark. Will I ever be rescued? Will I ever belong? Am I too broken? And I answer you with a simple, solid truth. You were never too far for my reach, and nothing you have hidden is unworthy of my touch. There is a sacred economy at work where every whisper of your heart is counted. Nothing slips through unnoticed. Those quiet sighs you thought were swallowed by the night are carried into my hands and kept as precious things. So cry if you must. Let the tears fall like small rivers that cleanse and open channels for future joy. Tears are not evidence of failure. They are the salt that seasons new mercy, and every tear you offer becomes a seedbed for healing. As the tide of your heart moves, receive this instruction from me. Surrender does not mean loss of power. Surrender is the secret gate into a power that lifts what you cannot. There will be times ahead when the change you pray for arrives not in thunder, but in a gentle rearrangement of your ordinary days. A conversation that opens a door. A message that carries the exact encouragement you needed. A stranger's kindness that feels like a hand placed upon your shoulder at the precise second your legs might have given way. Imagine the small, ordinary miracles as lights strung quietly along a pathway, not always startling, but steady, showing you where to place your next step. Picture another visualization, a river of light flowing through an ordinary street, painting the pavement with gold so that every footstep glows. This gold is not wealth in shallow measure alone, but the kind of abundance that repairs appetite for life, courage to speak, room to rest, resources that cradle your responsibilities. Wealth will come, and it will be a reflection of the inner restoration you are allowing me to cultivate. Know that abundance arrives in both visible gifts and in the invisible softening of your soul that permits you to receive. Speak these words inwardly with me and feel them land. I am worthy of the gifts that find me. Now open your hands and let me fill them. Do not clutch the air tight with fear. Open and watch what appears. You are not called to hold on to shame as if it is your identity. I take the heavy weights you are tempted to carry and set them into a place where they can be transformed. If self-judgment has become a song you know by heart, I will teach you a new melody. If isolation has wrapped itself around you like a cloak, I will gather it and lay beside you a companion who will warm you through the long nights. There is a relentless, gentle love at work here that pursues you without being demanding or shaming. Its rhythm is invitation, not coercion. Allow the light inside you to come forward in safe increments. You do not have to perform courage. You only have to practice small acts of trust. Each tiny surrender is significant. A hand unclasped, a confession breathed, a moment of honest prayer, and in those small movements my presence thickens and becomes easier to notice. Give me the corners you thought you must keep private. Name the fears you have kept like talismans. Bring them. I will not recoil. I will redeem. Receive this blessing. You are chosen for restoration. There are practical ways this change will touch you. I am not merely speaking of ethereal comfort. I am arranging circumstances, opening networks, provoking unexpected generosity, and rearranging timelines to fit the healing you require. There are reasons for the pauses you experienced, reasons rooted in shaping, not in punishment. Where impatience once eroded your hope, a patience born of love is forming now, steady and unshakable. The cadence of this work is slow enough to build depth, but sure enough to break through the small, resistant places of your heart. In coming days, you will feel a steadier center. In coming weeks, an opening where you can exhale and trust the next step. Do not be surprised if restoration shows up in ways you did not design. An ally appearing in a conversation, a small financial relief, an insight that makes a problem look smaller. These are my fingerprints across your story. Hear this. When the noise of comparison rises and whispers that you are late or behind, let its voice go. I do not measure you by anyone else's clock. Your path is bespoke, tailored by love to fit you uniquely. The success that satisfies me is not applause, but the slow making of your heart into a vessel that can hold true joy. Comparison steals the wonder of your singular journey. Communion with me restores it. When you find yourself tempted to look sideways at another's life, fold those hands across your chest and breathe. Let gratitude be the salve that returns you to your own threshold. Gratitude is not ignoring pain. It is acknowledging my presence within pain, a way of tilting your gaze toward the movements of grace that remain even when the outcome is still hidden. There will be moments when fear insists it is the final authority, when voices from your past rehearse old accusations and demand your obedience. In those moments, press your hand upon your heart and feel the steady drumbeat that proves life continues, that you are not consumed. Let this be a small visualization. Imagine a warm, golden tide flowing from your heart through the veins of your life, saturating places that feel arid. Let the tide pause in the places of doubt and leave behind pearls of renewed confidence. I am fashioning courage out of your vulnerability. Bravery will arrive not as force, but as a quiet, persistent capacity to show up anyway. You will find yourself speaking truth with a voice that once would have trembled. You will stand a little straighter, not because your external world has softened, but because a new spine of certainty has grown within you. Forgiveness will be part of this healing, but not as a demand, as a liberation. Forgive yourself first, and you will find forgiveness for old injuries less like a resignation and more like a reclaiming of peace. When shame would tighten its grip, call gently back your scattered self and whisper, "I am allowed to be remade." That whisper will carry more power than you imagine. I am patient with your return. Every step toward wholeness is welcomed, whether it arrives like a sprint or like an evening stroll. There is no penalty for your stumbles, only an invitation to rise with me again and again. Receive this blessing. You are being remade into the image of joy. I will not lie to you, the road will sometimes be tender. Old patterns will attempt one more entreaty to be your ruler, but each time you choose differently, you weaken their hold. Like walking a path where stones have become familiar, choose a new step and feel the way new ground supports you. The mundane acts of choosing to breathe, to pause, to say one thankful thing, to offer kindness. When it is undeserved, these are the small revolutions that change the map of your life. Hold to these habits as sacramental, little borders where you meet me and let me shape you. See another visualization. A vast sky above, studded with stars, and beneath it a single candle in your palm. Watch as that candle is not swallowed by the dark, but begins to kindle more light around you, until the field is lit by 1,000 small flames. Your life lighting the path for others. Your honest recovery will be used to comfort those still in their night. There is a commissioning awaiting you that is not a call to perfection, but ascending into authenticity. You are asked not to hide any longer, to bring the realness of your story into the light, so that others may find their own courage to do the same. The very scars you once felt were too ugly to show will become maps for somebody still lost. This is not vanity, it is service. You will be invited to lead, not from a pedestal, but from the place of having been healed. Your testimony will not be a clumsy retelling of a flawless life, but a raw, honest witness to the ways tenderness met you at your breaking points. Abundance will walk with you not merely as coins or titles, but as a broad sense of sufficiency that allows you to love more freely, give without fear, and rest with confidence. Imagine wealth like a river, whose banks are lined with fruit trees. The nourishment it carries feeds your family, your neighbors, and returns to you in the laughter and safety you longed for. Let visualization 3 come here. A gentle rain of golden seeds descending across a small parched village, taking root immediately, and by morning those seeds have become tall stalks of grain and fruit. Receive the image and the promise. Provision is being sown where you once felt scarcity. Speak this as an internal decree. Abundance flows to me, abundance flows through me. Now rise, my child, and walk into the harvest I prepare. Speak aloud, if you can, these simple words. I am seen. I am safe. I am being made whole. Allow each phrase to settle as a salve, as an axiom that corrodes the old accusations. You are invited to practice trust like a muscle, gently, repeatedly, sometimes painfully, but always growing stronger. When temptation to control returns, remember that my guidance is not a removal of agency, but a reorientation of your heart. Surrender becomes the place where your hands are opened for better things. The hands you unclench create space for unexpected gifts to be placed there. Receive this blessing. Your openness will be met with my generosity. There are relational healings in the works. Words left unsaid will find gentle expression. Conversations that once erupted will soften into listening. Reconciliation will not always be dramatic, but often will be small, stubborn acts of choosing the welfare of another. Where walls were built, gates are being fashioned. You will see these shifts first inwardly, the capacity to forgive, the ability to release a right to resentment, and then externally as hearts respond. Trust the quiet work. I am moving in those connected to you, preparing them as you are being prepared, so that when encounters happen, they will be ripe for restoration. When you miss the mark, come to me and find repair. When others fail you, do not bury the ache. Bring it into the sacred space between us, and let compassion shape your response. Do not be surprised when confirmation arrives in unexpected packages. There will be nudges, an idea that appears suddenly, a name that surfaces in a conversation, a note left in a margin of a book, and those nudges will align with your secret prayers. Pay attention to the small synchronies. They are the breadcrumbs leading you through the forest. Your life is beginning to accelerate, not because you chased it, but because you have aligned with a deeper tempo. And now the universe, tenderly choreographed by love, moves with you. The timing of this movement is wise. Be patient, and let your anticipation mellow into confident expectancy. Now I give you a few direct commands because your heart needs both invitation and authority. Step forward into your next moment without fear. Speak truth to your doubt, and do not bow to the old lies. Receive this blessing. Be brave in tender measure. These are not burdensome orders, but steadying ropes thrown to help you cross what feels too wide. Cling to them when winds rise. And here, at the close of this breath with me, I will place into your mouth an affirmation, flow 5 simple statements to return to whenever the world seems too heavy. Repeat them slowly, and let each land like a small stone of certainty in your chest. I am ready to receive. I am chosen for abundance. I am guided by light. I am one with enduring love. I am free. I am blessed. Now breathe. Let the last exhale be a release, and the next inhale a reception. The work that has started in you is not incidental. It is intentional, precise, and full of mercy. Walk gently into the day, noticing the little wonders, and trust that the larger wonders are being arranged even as you move. You are not alone. You are held. You are being made new. Now listen, my beloved one. Take a deep breath and let yourself sink into that still place inside you. The one that has survived every storm. The one that still flickers with quiet hope even when the world feels too heavy. I am here, closer than sound, closer than thought, speaking into the soft pulse of your being. Picture a warm, golden light settling gently across your shoulders, moving down your spine like sunlight sliding through morning curtains. With every breath, feel the tightness begin to melt, the weight begin to loosen. You don't need to force this moment. Just allow it to happen. Let your chest rise. Let the breath find you. You are safe. You are seen. You are not forgotten. Now imagine a door in front of you, not the door of your past, but one glowing with quiet promise, engraved with the mark of new beginnings. It's already opening for you, silently, easily, as if it's been waiting all along. Step forward. On the other side of that doorway is peace that fits you perfectly, provision tailored for your needs, and answers formed long before you ever asked the questions. You have not been walking alone through the hard seasons. I have been shaping your path beneath your very feet, even when the ground felt empty. What looked like endings were really preparations. What felt like loss was simply the rearrangement of grace. Every prayer you whispered into the dark I gathered. Every tear I noticed. Not one sigh has been wasted. You've wondered if your effort matters, if your faith still counts when it's trembling. Let me tell you, the trembling faith moves mountains because it is honest. I am not measuring your perfection. I'm watching your willingness to keep showing up. You've carried burdens for too long, trying to hold everything together. But my strength begins exactly where your control ends. Release, my child. Surrender is not defeat. It's the beginning of divine momentum. When you let go, I take hold. Feel my presence now in the warmth across your chest, the stillness wrapping around your thoughts like calm water. Picture this with me, a soft golden rain falling through the air, each drop holding blessing, soaking into the ground of your life. The barren places are waking again. Where disappointment lived, new things are starting to bloom. Your future is not behind you. It's rising right under your feet. I'm sending abundance that isn't limited to money, but includes peace that doesn't break, favor that follows you, relationships healed, doors opening quietly in places you thought were locked forever. Watch the signs. They will come as gentle confirmations, a message that brings peace, a kindness that arrives right when you need it, a word that echoes the hope you thought was gone. You've been through seasons where love felt distant and security felt fragile, but I promise you, my protection is wrapping your home like invisible armor. The fear that something will fall apart is fading, because my covering is stronger than the chaos. Your loved ones are surrounded by light you cannot see yet, a divine shield that holds firm through every unknown. Tonight, rest in that. Breathe out what you can't control, and let peace do the work for you. I am fighting battles you never even knew existed. The threats you feared are already dissolving under my authority. You've asked me, why the waiting? And I answer gently, because I have been preparing you for the weight of the blessings you're about to carry. The pause was never punishment. It was positioning. Maturity is forming in you. Strength is maturing beneath the quiet. You are not late. You are right on time. Look back and notice how far you've come, how every heartbreak trained you to trust deeper. Nothing has been wasted. The slow chapters were building endurance. The silent nights were teaching you how to hear my whisper through the noise. You have been learning the language of faith without knowing it.